welcome everybody to another episode of the Bughead podcast. Today I got a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the people what you do?
Hi, my name is Charlie Lomonaco. I am a musician. I make music under my own name, Charlie Lomonaco. I play in a band called Samsara, and I do some other stuff like screen printing and like audio engineering, like mixing and all that stuff. But yeah, that's me.
All right, so the first time I think I sat down and listened to your music was coincidentally my roommate, friend of the show, Charlie Peterson, did your tapes.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that little he's got his little tape repro set up in his room. I remember he showed me the album like I think when it came out because he was doing the tapes. But why don't you go into your new release real quick? And tell me what recording that and writing the music for it was like.
Yeah, so that was a rock mixtape for Awkward and Sad Wolves, and like I was just like writing these songs. Like I started with You're My / like Rough Night around the same time, and did some other songs, and like just a friend I had for a while too, and I just thought like, oh, like these kind of sound like they have a similar vibe, which was like the first time I ever like stumbled into like a sound for myself. Like I feel like my previous releases weren't very cohesive at all, and I wanted to challenge myself into like, because I was like really sick of the word vibes, so I was like I need to create like a vibe and like an aesthetic for a project and just have like a cohesive thing, like almost like a concept. So I was like, what if I combine like this like crazy blown out like sound that was like kind of popular with like the loudness wars, and make it like this crazy like amalgamation of like all these things that I like. So it's like a huge like hardcore influence sort of, but like, you know, I'm not like a hardcore head, but like influenced by it for sure. And like early hardcore, like Rites of Spring and like Fugazi and like all that stuff from like the Discord record stuff, along with like modern like I guess like shoegaze production in a way. And that was kind of like where it came from. And I thought I was like, oh, it sounds like wolves, like those pictures of wolves that are like really hard. And I was like, that's sick. Like I want to name it something to do with that. So
The flyleaf edit wolf.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that kind of new wave of shoegazy production was really popular on TikTok, which is even before other Charlie, showed me the album.
Yeah.
I had heard Rough Night. I think just like randomly that video would come up on
Oh
my
wow.
TikTok for you page.
Damn, that's so funny. I hope you liked it.
I did like it. I did, but like I
Oh,
remember
thanks so much.
I heard that, thought it was neat, and then like randomly he was just showing me stuff, and he was like, "Oh, listen to this guy I'm doing tapes for," and I recognized the song immediately. That one's got a you know it when you hear it. It's
Yeah,
memorable.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I'm proud of that one. That has like a pretty unique sound with the way I recorded it too, with the karaoke machine and like the glitching and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, the album has a pretty wide variety of sounds. I'd say it all feels cohesive, but it's
Yeah.
you definitely have like a breadth of influence. I think coming into it. Do you want to talk about some of the stuff that you were listening and pulling from when making it?
Yeah, like around the time when I was like doing some of the songs, it was just like different influences from like the indie scene. Like obviously like Alex G is a big one, and like you kind of hear it like all over, like something like Just a Friend, for example. Like his record God Save the Animals, I think was like a huge influence on like production, like random songs here and there that I found, and I was like, oh, like this, like the mix on this and the way the delays happen is something I'm gonna like kind of like take influence from. But yeah, I guess with like the wide range of sounds, it was just kind of like a natural thing where I have some stuff where like I just like play the acoustic guitar and like we'll write a song, and I'm like, well, do I translate this to the electric guitar or do I just keep it that way? And it's like, well, I might as well just like keep it that way. There was a lot of scrap material too that I didn't include. Like I made like a bunch of music for it, but I guess does that answer the question? I'm sorry, but
Yeah, I think it does. I
okay, cool.
was. Do you have any like? I guess you gave a couple specifics.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, when you say pulling from the indie scene, do you mean like nationally or locally too? You were in Boston at the time, right?
Yeah, I guess like a lot of like the stuff that I was influenced by, like my friends over in like Main Era, 100%, like seeing them live and like how they did stuff, and like something that like this kind of translates more to like the live performance thing, but like when they used the 404, like I was like, oh, like that's so sick, like I have one too. And like um and so I always wanted to try to use it, so I was like, all right, like let me see if I can like figure out a way to use this live. So like I started like running my vocals through it, for example, to like get like a delay sound, which sounds like kind of bad but in a really awesome way, because it just like clips the hell out of it. And I mean, like things like that were like locally, other friends like War Machine, I would see them live and be like, oh, like I want to kind of write like a song like maybe from like their perspective, and like um not like from their perspective, but like I saw them live and they did like a faster song or something, and I was like, oh, like I should include something faster. Like um who
Those are
else
two bands
live?
that I've saw together pretty recently
Oh really?
at
Yeah.
O'Brien's.
Oh, shout out O'Brien's. You know, I haven't been there, but I just never got the
Really?
chance to go. Yeah.
That's
I
surprising.
don't. Yeah, well, I just kind of like every time my friends would go, I was always like stuck doing work. I was like, damn, like I have to like either like make t-shirts or like do homework or something, because I was like really busy with school at the time. But um, yeah, shout out the Boston scene. It's really awesome.
And you're in New York now?
Yeah, I moved back home. I'm from Queens, and yeah, so I'm like living back home with my parents and stuff.
Have you kind of readjusted to the New York music scene yet, or are you still kind of? I don't know. Did
You
you have
know,
like roots there?
I before I moved to Boston, it was like I had just started like a band, and like I was in School of Rock for a while, and like I didn't really go to like local shows that often, so like I kind of didn't really have that many friends in the scene. Over time, like while I was at school, I would like travel back to New York all the time and like play shows, but it's kind of a struggle to like try to make friends if you're not there to like go to any shows, you know. Like kind of the only friends you would hopefully make would be like at the show you like I was playing, and so now like going back, it's like cool to like try to meet new people, and um like I've been helping out with like this thing kind of similar to like what Jack's doing in Boston, you know, like Cuxing. Um
Yeah.
like there's this thing called Showbrain that I've been kind of helping out with, trying to get like a feel, because I'm trying to hopefully get like a job doing like live sound. So I was just kind of like learning and watching what they do, and they do like shows in like parks like such as like Tompkins or like Maria Hernandez Park and like Bushwick are like the two that I went to. But like yeah, so like going there and like meeting the other bands slash like people working there is like I'm kind of like getting myself like readjusted into like a new scene. But I feel like something I'll say about it is like when you're in Boston, I feel like it's like really easy, or like way easier to like find like where the scene is, because like there's like certain things like the house shows, for example, which like kind of like had a halt on them for a second, but I don't know if they're coming back or not. I guess I won't really say too much because I don't want to like snitch on anyone, but um, you know, like that, or like the cuck shows, for example. Like you go there and you just talk to people and you make friends. Like it's a lot easier, it feels like, than in New York, where it's like everything's scattered. There's like a million things happening all at once. There's like all these different types of people and doing all these different types of things. But I'm excited to like hopefully like find my footing here, and I have some friends, but yeah, it's just like a whole different vibe.
I just threw a show in Worcester that
Oh
I had a
wow.
bunch of my friends from New York come out and play, and we were kind of talking about a similar thing where like it feels like there's so much going on in New York and that it's so oversaturated that it's hard to like concentrate the scene in one place, or like uh, just certain things about it are more difficult than in Massachusetts where everything's kind of localized to like a couple places in every city.
Yeah, 100%. Also, there's like a different vibe. I feel like when I go to shows and I try talking to people. I don't know if you've experienced this like with anything in New York, but like sometimes I'll go to a show and like I'll try to talk to other bands or something, and like they're like not that friendly to me, which is like I guess it's fine. Like they don't have to be, but it's like a kind of a bummer, because I'm like, whereas like in Boston, I feel like when there's a show, it's like a party. You know what I mean? Like all the bands are all hanging out, and like everyone's like all nice to each other, and like I don't know, like even some of the bands that like my friends would play with or I would play with, like kind of like became like friends of mine, like to this day. Like I'm still in touch with like kind of everyone, I feel like, that I was friends with like while I was at school, you know, and slash like in like living in Boston. Whereas like it's something in like New York, it's like it feels like it's not really like that, at least for me yet. I'm sure it's like that for some people, but I'm sure it exists, but you know, hoping to make some friends, you know.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you have you noticed any other big differences between the two scenes? Because they're pretty close together, but obviously very different. One's a much bigger place.
Um, I'm trying to think. The Boston bands are great. Like I feel like in Boston, the likelihood you'll see like a bad band is like a lot like lower.
Okay.
Not that like there's a lot of bad bands in New York. A lot like most of them are pretty good, but I guess for my taste, like everyone's kind of doing a little bit like more daring music than I would say I've seen a lot of like local bands do in New York, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like a taste thing, you know. Like that's one of the main differences. Is like people are more excited to get a little bit more experimental, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's I'm not too tapped into like the band side of things there. I know
Yeah,
most of my friends who are doing music there do like electronic shit, but I and then
yeah,
most of my friends here do are in bands. Massachusetts has a band culture. There's a very like it's very rock music centric. It feels like.
yeah, 100%. I wish I could speak more on like maybe like Massachusetts stuff. I because I only like lived there for like a fairly short period of time, like 4 years, you know. But
Yeah,
uh, 100%. Like, there's way more band culture. There's a lot of like I know there's like a huge like scene for like electronic music.
of course.
Like there's like a whole thing in New York. Which I honestly didn't see much of in Boston. I don't know. I don't know if you relate to that, but or like Massachusetts in general.
It's there. There is like good electronic music in Massachusetts, but you gotta hunt for
Yeah.
it. Shout out
Yeah.
Pole Position, friends of the show.
Hell yeah. I gotta check that out. It's like a is that like a artist?
Oh no, it's a it was a like a party. They'd throw it at the basement of Cantab Lounge, which is like an Irish bar.
Oh no way, really?
Yeah. There's another episode with the artist Replicator that I have on the
Hmm.
channel. Those listening, check that out next. Where we like talked about the Boston rave and electronic music scene pretty in depth.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah. I want to get back to your personal music production again. Um,
Yeah.
uh, on your TikTok, it's a lot of videos of like I don't play guitar, so I don't know like the technical words for a lot of stuff, but it's just
Yeah.
like you playing with a lot of different tones and like finding different ways to make your shit sound crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
do you have any like specific niche methods that you use to get certain sounds on the album?
Yeah, I won't blow up the spot, but there's a place, it's like a thrift store that I go to, and
Okay.
I tend to find karaoke machines slash things you could that have like quarter-inch inputs. I don't even have to do any like audio hijacking or like like any crazy like modifications to make it work. I've like changed speakers and stuff that I've blown, but a lot of stuff like that you'll kind of just like get really unique sounds. I'm a big fan of like kind of like broken amp sounds, and I found like the best way for me to do that is to just plug into something that's not meant for a guitar to plug into and just like kind of break it, you know.
Yeah.
um because it's like cheap and I'm using it and then I'll like fix it and if it breaks. But that's one way. Or like a lot of it was just stuff I've been doing. Like that was kind of a new thing. Because it was funny, like I got like my first like one of those and I like plugged into it and wrote Rough Night on like as like a literally just like a way to show that I got this new thing that I plugged my guitar into. I just played a riff and then people were like liking the riff and I was like, all right, well like I like this riff too. I want to turn it into a song. And then that was like how that started the whole thing. And For me at least, what else could I say about it? Yeah, like the glitching stuff. Like I never had like the keynote tone ribbons before I was doing it. Like I was just chopping it up in Logic, and like doing like which is like the DAW I use is Logic Pro XI. Like doing a bunch of stuff like that way. Um, like in post and making things like filtered in post and a lot of DI guitar stuff. But yeah, like trying to like, what if I make the DI guitar sound like a karaoke machine, or like what if I instead like had this huge like wall of sound, like maybe like an orange amp type of sound for this like one song or something, like things like that. And then like I guess that's the guitar side of the production. I could talk more about like other aspects of it if you'd like.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, cool. Like so there's like the drum stuff, like where it's like, oh, like I actually like just don't have a way to record drums, and like, oh, like I could do one drum at a time. Like I have friends that do that. Shout out Scotty Malcolm. I don't know if he wants me to blow up his tricks, but he's super fucking talented and really kills it with like that like sound of like recording like a single drum at a time and like chopping it up and making it work. But for me, it was like I got like really good at playing the drums on my keyboard, like, and like MIDI drums that way. And so I just like all of those drums are like Logic stock sounds that I like either like messed with to make it sound like bigger or like fit the right like sound for the song. Um, like heavy on like the huge kick drum sound, and like the bass is all DI. I guess like what else can I say? Yeah, the vocals are just like distorted and kind of like using a incorrect mic in a bad room, but trying to make that work. All done from home and just like never like messing around with like going to the Berkeley studios, which is kind of like a shame. I wish I kind of did that, but it's all right. But yeah.
What is a? I haven't gotten the chance to see you live at all. What does a Charlie Lomonaco live show look like?
Yeah, so um kind of the goal is to just like with the recordings is supposed to sound like a band. Like the idea is like it's like this random band that like is like just like in like the used record bin, you know what I mean? Like dollar record or
Yeah.
whatever. Or like that was like kind of the goal, was to make it feel like a live band when you're listening to it. But like crazy production to make it like ridiculous sounding, you know. But yeah, so it's like a live drummer, a live bassist. I'm playing guitar and I'm singing, and then another guitarist. Although I have dreams of not having to play guitar and just like, because I already play guitar for like other bands. Like I don't feel like I need to like prove to anyone that I can do it. You know what I mean? It's not like an ego thing. It's just like a matter of necessity that I play guitar and sing. It's like kind of a pain in the butt, honestly. But yeah, I have like dreams of like just like getting to run around and just scream into a microphone. But for now, I'm like playing guitar and singing. And yeah, the vocals are going through the 404, which I'm kind of giving away my secrets here, but it's okay. I won't gatekeep. And yeah, it's just like crazy delay effects like at all times, just so it sounds like ridiculous. Try not to make it feedback, and yeah, just like loud, I guess, is kind of the goal. Which might be a little annoying for people, but
What were some of the venues and spots you were playing in Mass?
Oh, shout out Cuck Scene, heavy on the Cuck shows. He does it in like or like that whole operation. They do it in like event spaces. I did a house show. I did like two, I think, officially. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think I should say the names of them, or should I keep it like hush? What
I say the names and I'll censor them out if they need to be.
Okay, word. And what was the other one? God, I can't remember. I was supposed to play Steve, but it got shut down. That was actually going to be a cool show. It was with Ski Club Supermarket Parking Lot, and I can't remember the first band that played actually, but the other one was it was actually this one probably censor that one because I know that they keep that one pretty tight. But that was a cool one with some friends. It was just like all friends hanging out in that one show.
Those are sometimes like the best ones where it's just all people you know,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if the turnout's not crazy.
yeah. Just like threw down all for each other. It was really cool.
Have you played any shows since like getting back to New York?
No, actually, I haven't. I got kind of not traumatized, but I had like um a weird thing where I was like, I need a break and like need a chance to like figure out like who like is going to be in the New York iteration, because like mainly like just trying to figure out like who's available and who wants to like either continue or like who I have to like find a new person for. For example, like my old drummer Ezra, who I miss so dearly. I love him. Shout out Ezra Geisler. Um, and he plays drums for Park National as well. I don't know if you're familiar, but um, yeah, no, he's like so good. And like, yeah, so I had like figure out like who's gonna play, and it's kind of a bummer because I got like a bunch of show offers that I had to like decline. But hopefully I get that started up like within the next like month or so. I plan on like doing rehearsals actually like very soon, which is good.
All right. Are you are you still writing music right now? Are you planning any other kinds of releases or?
Oh, I am like actually so excited to share the music I have. I think it's like a step up from the Wolf stuff, but like still building on it. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. I'm thinking an EP of just like a couple songs, but right now I have like two really solid foundations of like just need to like finish the mixing on them, and then one song I'm like working on writing that like I'm taking my time basically. Like before I was like almost kind of rushed. I feel like I was rushing myself a little bit, but like I want to do like a really really strong like 3 or 4 song EP of just like just like the sickest stuff ever. Honestly, I'm like actually super stoked on these how they're coming out. I wish I could say more about it, but there's like a collaboration with someone who I've been a fan of for like a very long time, which hopefully that will come out. And yeah, it's cool. It's sounding good so far.
How did you start making music? Like what were like some of the initial inspirations? What was the first instrument and like songwriting process at the beginning like?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so I started playing guitar when I was like around 10 years old and would like make riffs here and there, but they weren't anything like spectacular. It wasn't like I was writing songs. I kind of like always was fascinated with songwriting, but I never really got into it. I started a band where like obviously like I'd like help write the songs because I'm in the band and whatnot, and I started sending demos over. Is kind of the story. We all met at a school rock too, so I was doing all like cover stuff. Um, and yeah, so I would make all these demos and send it over, and I got like super into like making the demo sound as good as possible, and like that was like kind of my introduction to like audio engineering slash like audio production stuff that
Mm-hmm.
I'm like still obsessed with to this day. And yeah, I was sending all this stuff over, and then like one day I was just like writing stuff, and I was like, damn, like I kind of feel like none of these things really fit the vibe of the band, like or like this one song particularly, it was like totally like left field because we were in like a alt rock band with like a heavy like um it's funny because like I guess now it would be classified as shoegaze, but like just like more delays and like chorusy guitars with like drive, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like you know we were just like kind of making stuff, but this was more like it was the song "Befriending Your Body" was the first one that I wrote with like I was like let me try singing on this, and very inspired by like the OCs and like Jack White stuff. And originally, like the idea was to just make like a garage rock project slash like Carsey Headrest influence, which I
Yeah.
feel like still comes through, especially on the album cover for the Wolf thing. I just thought it would be like a funny like an ode to a legend, But like um yeah um yeah, so just like started doing that, and then was like, oh cool, and then I would write songs here or there. Is like I wrote like a song called Prison, which is like on that same album that Befriending Your Body's on, and then just started keeping going. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with just like writing songs to the point where like now I kind of want to write songs for other people. Like that's my next, if anyone is listening and wants me to write a song for you, let me know. But, you know, I feel like that would be kind of fun.
You're
But
in
yeah,
your ghostwriting era?
I would freaking love to. Like actually like to write like pop songs for somebody, I feel like would be like so fun because I wouldn't have to feel pressure to like write a certain way or like be afraid of like, oh well, like it's gonna be so corny if I say this stupid corny line about like a positive song. I feel like all my songs are kind of like emo, and like I would
Yeah.
love to write like a silly pop song. I had like talks with some friends of like shout out Colin Ratcliffe from Makeout Palace, and like Nathaniel Cohen for of like oh like making like a shitty like pop project or like like a bedroom pop thing, but we never did it. But
how did that album cover come to be for? I, I keep looking at it. Rock mixtape for Awkward and Sad Wolves.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
where's that album cover from?
You know, I drew it. Um, totally drew something based off like a picture off Google Images of like a wolf drawing. But just did it in my own style, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of was like, I want something very simplistic. I did it, and then I looked at it and went, "Oh, this kind of looks like Twin Fantasy," And then I was like, "Well, that kind of makes it cooler in a way." It's like a funny like little Kersey Headrest reference to those who care about that stuff at all. I don't know. I don't remember where the idea came from, but I remember having the idea in my head and like sketching it down in like my notebook like over and over and over, and then I finally like sat down and made it for like a month and a half at least. Like I definitely like plotted on it. I had some other album cover ideas too that were like I think so bad. Um, so yeah, I'm glad it came out to be that one.
What were some of those bad album cover ideas? I want to hear those.
Um, so the single covers were like um pictures of like metallic destruction because that was kind of like the original vibe I was getting from the songs. It was like just like noisy and gritty. So it was like actually like my car got in a car accident. Like somebody like totally totaled my car in front of my house one day. So I just took pictures of some of that stuff and used that. Or like there was a hurricane, I think, or like it wasn't Hurricane Sandy. I think there was like tornadoes or something that happened in like New York somewhere, and so that I had like a bunch of pictures that like I stole from like my mom that I would use, and it was gonna be something along those lines, but um, I actually don't remember like what some of the other stuff was. I always like come up with a bunch of really bad stuff, and then there's like one good thing. That's like the same thing with songwriting. There's always like five bad songs, one good song.
You were saying you had a lot of like scrapped material.
Yeah,
Would you ever consider like putting out like a B sides to it, or are those never going to see the light of day?
I think about it sometimes, but honestly, it's some of it's just embarrassing music. Like I have like a lot of like stuff that if I like showed anyone, I would just cry. It's like so bad. I've written some really bad songs, but and you could say some of the stuff on that record is not amazing either, but or derivative or whatever you want to say, but um, or like failed attempts to make a concept that just like didn't go through. You know what I mean? So it's not that like the song
Yeah,
itself is bad. It's just like the the concept of the production just didn't like I wanted it to start light and end heavy, but it just didn't feel right. So I didn't release it. But yeah,
gotcha.
some of my friends get upset about that because they're like, oh, this one song's good, but maybe I'll do like a 2 or 3 song like beast like deluxe edition or something. Like just throw it on Bandcamp or something. But yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah,
I always like little things like that. Those are fun.
yeah. I'll consider it honestly. Thank you for the idea.
Oh shit! It's gonna. I want 3% of the profits.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'll cut you a deal. I'll do 5.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude, you're really loading me up. I'm
Got
getting
you.
the nice ramen this month.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We all know the music pays so good.
I haven't looked at the TikTok in a minute, but how's that page doing? I feel like I remember seeing you get like decent views on there.
Occasionally I'll get some views. It's kind of just like I'm starting to get kind of like sick of doing the thing that I'm doing right now. I think part of it's like I've been promoting the same project, like the rock mixtape for Rocker and Sad Wolves thing.
Yeah,
Um, and a lot of the ideas I have are just like, all right, I'm gonna play guitar and play one of my songs, and then put a funny caption, and hopefully people don't get too mad about it. Because people take shit like way too seriously. It's like really funny when like people are like, dude, like this isn't even like shoegaze, and like shoegaze suck, and it's like, dude, I don't even know like I just kind of put that word there just because it's like a way to describe it, and
you
like I
gotta
don't
throw
really like.
buzzwords in there to make it like
Yeah, exactly.
searchable.
And like I started doing that too as like a joke at like people being like, check out my shoegaze hyper new wave thing, and I was like, that's really funny. Like I think like it'd be funny to like just put a bunch of buzzwords like indie electro scram. Like I made a shirt honestly that was like I think we said like indie electro Midwest scramsy like hyper gaze like all these like things I just made up. Like it's like not real. Or maybe they are real. I don't know, like subgenres, but um, you know,
That's like a
I don't know. Yeah,
T-shirt.
yeah, yeah. But where was I going with this? I'm just trying to figure out a new way to do it. But yeah, it's like doing okay. The Instagram's doing way better, honestly, which is funny.
Okay.
Like I just kind of like I find it fun to just like sit there and like post stuff. Like it's all been authentic stuff that I've been doing. I haven't like sold my soul or anything. It's like me doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, um, I guess if I were to have like done like, did I just write the song of the summer or something? Like unironically, like maybe it would do good for me. But I just kind of like just do what I want to do, and it seems to work, and people like it.
I think you
Um,
need to make the "Did I just make the song of the summer" like mid-December, because
yeah,
then it's clear it's a joke.
yeah. Did I make the song in mid December? And then it's like the worst, like I don't know, like noisy rock thing you've ever heard. It's about wolves and stuff. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Like, yeah. you know. I remember I have a funny thing actually that might be funny to share for this interview. Where it was like, when I first came up with the idea of like, oh, this feels like these pictures of wolves. Like, I was like, oh my god, like this is such a funny idea. Like, I really want to do this, but I don't know if I want to. And I would like shop it around to my friends, and honestly, like people were like looking at me crazy. I think to this day, some people still don't get it. You know what I mean? They don't understand that it's like a little ironic. Although, like, nothing against people who are into like wolves and that whole like side of the internet. But I was like kind of like playing into it a little bit, and I like some of my close friends too were like, Charlie, I'll be honest, like until it came out, like I didn't really understand what you were talking about. Like I had no fucking idea like what you were on or like why. And like a couple of my friends were like, oh, I actually like get it, and it's like kind of really smart. My mom even I was talking to her about it, and she was like, Charlie, like I'm like I can't even like support this. Like what are you doing? Like and then it came out, and then she was like, this is actually really smart, like to put like an animal as like the idea of it. And I was like, all right, like I guess now people get it, but yeah, no, that was really funny trying to like convince everyone that it was like um actually not a bad idea to name it that and make that the theme of the record. But you know.
Sometimes like the best ideas you just can't vocalize them very well. The best like
Oh,
artistic
100%.
choices.
Yeah, I have this one thing I've been trying to like it's a band I want to make, and I've been trying to explain it to people, but I can't put it into words. But it's like all aesthetic space, like the coolest band in New York City. Because I think like a lot of the bands I see, sorry, I'm gonna say something a little bold here, but I think a lot of people in New York are a little pretentious for my taste. Um,
No,
in,
no, you wouldn't.
yeah.
No, that's not true.
But I wanted to make like an overly pretentious like cool band of like where it's all aesthetics based, and like a bunch of really like hot people and then me, uh, and like you know I don't know. I thought that would be funny, but I never followed through on it. Yeah, like the music was gonna be just like purposely bad, but like no one could tell because everyone's just like so hot and cool looking on stage, and the stage presence is so awesome that you just can't look away.
Yeah,
It's like,
this is a money making idea. I think you have like a real grind set with this one.
yeah, 100%. I haven't done anything besides like tell my one friend about it and be like, I want you to be in it, and then she's like, all right,
You need to make a
what?
band that gets people interested when they're like watching TikToks on the bus on mute because they forgot their headphones.
Yeah, that's a trick. You got to figure out how to promote music that way. Like, how do you do that?
You said it. You gotta all aesthetics. You gotta get a bunch of hot people, dress them in trendy
Yeah,
clothes.
the songs are just like awful. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing now, anyways. Except I'm not that hot. It's just all an aesthetic, I guess. But
You need to get in like a
um,
full Jaded London fit. Uh,
oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a Timu star sweater, you
exactly. You
know.
need like a fake Chrome Hearts trucker hat.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we're talking.
This is how you're gonna get TikTok views. This is how you're gonna become a
Yeah.
TikTok emo superstar.
I got a good one. What if we all wore skinny jeans and said that people who wear baggy jeans are lame, and said that skinny jeans are like the only thing that people should wear? I think that'd be a good one to do.
This is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think you're because the big jeans are cool right now, but that means it's gonna come back around in like 3 months. I think.
Yeah, the skinny jeans are gonna be back. The skinny jeans are already back. I think we're over the. I think trends are over. That's my prediction. I think like whatever you like to wear is just gonna become in. Besides like joggers, I guess those kind of feel dated, but maybe that's just me.
um, Tell me about the screen printing a little bit. You were talking about that earlier. You make shirts.
The screen printing thing, I just started it like just to make t-shirts for myself because I wanted to make I had like an idea for shirts for like the No Smiles project that I did, where it was like the track list on the side of the shirt, and I was like, A, there's going to be impossible to find someone who wants to make this, and B, it's like I've seen people do screen printing themselves before. I feel like I can do it, and so I just taught myself how to do it via YouTube videos, and it came out pretty sick in my opinion. The first time I did it, I got really lucky. I did a 3 screen print the first time I did it, and it came out fine. Um, and so I was just doing it for myself for a while, and then I think I did it for Makeup Palace. Um, Shout out Makeup Palace, Boston-based band. Everyone go check them out. Um, and then Speaker Hug, when it was Speaker Hug, like hit me up, and that was kind of the start of like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing shirts for other bands, and they would basically kind of just send me designs. I don't think I've ever designed something for a band actually. Um, no, I never did actually design anything. It was all like other people's designs, but I just helped them like pick a design that would work for the screen, you know. Um, yeah, I did it for like my friend Scotty, like made a screen for him, and then he printed it. I can't remember if we printed some of them together. I'm like, it's been so long. It's like 2 years ago now, but um, yeah, I didn't mean to start a business doing it, and it wasn't ever a business. I just kind of like was doing it for fun and doing it for so cheap. Honestly, I just wanted my friends to be able to like sell something at shows and make money.
Yeah.
Um, and then I had more people like started hitting me up. There were some failed ones that never went through, which I'm sad about. I wish I got to do like some ideas for like Goodway Studios and stuff. That they had some really creative ideas that would have been really funny. But I hope they still do the merch that they want to do. I won't say what it was in case they don't want me to share, but yeah, that would have been really awesome. That would have been a good thing to put on my resume. But yeah, no, I taught some friends how to do it too along the way. It's just like a community thing. It's like a way for me to also like give back to this scene that I love so dearly, which is specifically in Boston. Like, um, here I'll do it for like so cheap, so you could literally sell the shirts for $5 and make a profit. Like, um, yeah, that was kind of the goal
Hell yeah.
of a service of love.
Um, do you see that operation getting bigger in the future, or are you planning to keep it like a one man little like for friends thing?
A one man for friends thing. I would like to have like a better setup because I can't do multicolored screens at the moment. I mean, I could if I really wanted to, but it would be such a headache to like try to line everything up. I don't have a press. I place a screen on the shirt and print it, and
Yeah.
I have like I found ways to make it faster for myself and like easier on my brain to sit there for hours because it's honestly it takes a lot of time between like drying and ironing the shirts so that like you can cure the ink and all that stuff. Like it's a really time consuming process if you're just like gonna do it. But yeah, I don't know. It would be cool to do that more. The goal is that I wouldn't have to do it anymore. I was thinking about this recently where it was like I was like, oh, I have to make like these shirts because I'm like running low on shirts for like my band and stuff and like my music or whatever. And then I was like, one day I will not have to do this anymore, and my life will be a lot easier because it just. Um, I mean, like honestly, I would do all nighters like all the time, like doing these shirts because I had like I think one time there was a point where it was like an 80 shirt between like two bands. It was like 80 shirts to get done, and I had like a week left of time, and I was like stuck doing homework too because I was like studying like a really hard thing at school, and I had to like go to the studio all the time and stuff and I was just like not sleeping, and then I had to go back to New York, and yeah, I was up a whole nightmare. That's where the on Makeup House's Instagram is a picture of me sleeping with like these pink on black Makeup House shirts and like all over the couch. And I'm just like asleep on the couch with my jacket on because I just got back from the studio and like ironed some shirts or something and just like hit the hay. Like it was so insane. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun, but it's not that fun. I enjoy music more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's a cool little side gig. What can fans expect in the future, in the near future, after listening to this from Charlie Lomonaco?
Um, Live shows. I want to go on tour at some point. I have like a whole um like notes app filled with. I posted on my story one time like, hey, like anyone know any like spots in like different cities? And because like so many people liked it and replied, it got shown to like everyone who followed me. Not really, but like a lot of people. It was like my most viewed story, I think. And I had like so many replies from all over. So I like I'm incredibly grateful for that. So I have like a whole like notes app of like places where people would either like be able to help me out or like just like around the country slash like up north slash wherever or overseas and stuff. So hopefully I get to like do something about that and like take me and my friends on the road and be able to for them to eat too. That's like the goal. Um,
Honorable goal.
yeah, yeah. And what else? The merch order will be shipped out hopefully by the time this airs. I had a backup because I moved back home and then like life stuff got in the way, but because I like ship it all out myself and like as well as like making
Of
it,
course,
so
yeah.
it kind of became like a lot for a second. But yeah, I'm pretty much like it's ready to be done. I'm just gotta like bring it to the post office. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, new EP coming soon. Hopefully, it's an EP or something, and with some really good music that I think people will, if they like the Wolf thing, they're gonna love this because it's like of the same vein. And I guess hopefully it gets a little bit more creative, but I think it will.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, cool.
All right. Thank you for listening, if you still are. Thank you, Charlie, for coming on the show. I'm glad to
Thank you
have
so
you.
much for having me. Yeah, it's like seriously, it means a lot to be able to do an interview like this. It's super awesome that you have any interest.
I mean, of course, dude. The album's great.
Thank
It's a
you.
really fun it's a really fun tape.
Yeah, it means a lot. Thank you.
I still need to buy one. There's a big box of them in our kitchen.
Wait, there's more?
I think there's still a handful. There were last time I checked the mysterious cardboard box in the corner of our main room.
Yeah.
There were still some Charlie LaMonaco tapes there.
Yeah, well, tell Charles to let me know if he wants me to like Venmo him the cost of one to give to you because I would just give you one.
Oh
Um,
shit. Okay.
yeah,
Bet. All right.
yeah.
Uh, Thanks for listening. Tune in to the next episode of the Bughead podcast and follow the Instagram at Bughead_media. Uh, Follow the TikTok at Bughead_media. And check bughead.org for updates on everything we got going on. And just one last thank you to Charlie, and we'll catch you next time.